Spring 2022 was an incredible season for anime. We had a Spy X Family introducing so many new people to the weeb culture, and Kaguya Sama that finally ended FMA's tyrannical hold on the top spot of my anime list. And with the bar set so high, the summer season blew our minds. So in today's video, we're gonna take a look back at the top 10 summer anime of 2022. This list will have a lot of sequels, but what can I say? Some of the most watched anime of all time decided to come back in the same season. Before we start, quickly smash the like and subscribe buttons so we can keep bringing you more great videos just like this. Now let's dive in. We're starting off our list with the most common fish in the pond. Yes, I'm talking about an isekai here. The anime is called Parallel World Pharmacy, and if the name sounds familiar, you're not going crazy, because Drugstore in Another World is only a 1-year-old at this point. But unlike its predecessor, Parallel World Pharmacy won't bore you to death. It tells the story of a guy who works like a mad scientist to cure every disease in the world. Our boy works so hard that he literally dies from exhaustion. That's why you need to sleep 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day, kids. Anyway, he wakes up as a 10-year-old boy in a world which looks medieval, and yet it's full of magic. Following the common isekai trope, our protagonist can detect and cure any disease, and that's on top of all of his medicinal knowledge he acquired in his previous life. Naturally, he decides to become a capitalist and open his own pharmacy in this new world. Now, the show isn't the most original or exciting isekai out there, but it has amazing animation and a laid-back nature which will make it fun to watch. Moving on from one laid-back anime, we go to another, called The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. The show follows Kirishima, who is not only a mobster, but also a goddamn monster. He loves beating the life out of his enemies, and his insane fighting instincts make him pretty much invincible. And his boss asks this frickin' demon to look after his daughter, Yeika, who might actually be the best representation of a child in anime. She's quiet and shy, but even throws tantrums from time to time. But to everyone's surprise, Kirishima learns diligently how to be the best babysitter out there. His struggles and comedic nature of the show are what keep you coming back for more. And if that wasn't enough, Studio Feel has blessed the series with gorgeous animation that can rival some of their best works. Kind of a problem here. If you guys don't like this video, Senpai won't notice me. Oh, phew. Thanks for clicking like. I'm sure he'll look at me now. We finally reached the first sequel on our list, and this was quite simply the most hyped show of the summer season. I'm of course talking about the second season of the cult classic, Devil is a Part-Timer. Now, if you haven't heard of this anime, the first season came out all the way back in 2013, when Sword Art Online was still considered a revolutionary anime. And this show immediately gained a following due to its reverse isekai plot, where the demon lord and the hero have been forced to live ordinary lives on Earth. And you can expect this created hilarious scenarios, which were capped by beautifully animated fight scenes. The only problem anyone had with the show was that there wasn't enough of it. For years, people waited for the continuation of this series, and finally, we have a second season that takes us back to the good old days, or so we hoped. In reality, the second season doesn't live up to the standards set by the first one. It left out the work life of our beloved demon lord, which immediately takes out the comedic aspect of it. The animation also feels way more generic, which makes sense since it was produced by a studio that just doesn't have the credentials which White Fox enjoyed in the early 2010s. These glaring differences between the two seasons break the continuity needed to recreate any good series. Now, don't get me wrong, I still believe it's a good anime, and I'm glad they decided to bring it back, but it just failed to come even close to the hype it had generated. We've got another sequel on our list, but unlike Devil is a Part-Timer, Shadow's House 2 might be the least talked about anime of this season. I mean, I see more people talking about this, Don't Hurt Me, My Healer, than Shadow's House, which is insane considering other Cloverworks show like Spy X Family and My Dressing Up Darling ruled every social media platform this year. And this anonymity is a shame because Shadow's House is simply amazing, and the second season is one of the best shows of the summer. It tells the story of some dolls who are slaves to the whims of their shadow masters. The intricate plot and amazing character development are only a few of the selling points of this anime. There is a seamless transition between the two seasons, which, as we've established, really differentiates good sequels from bad ones. It also has beautiful animation and a banger soundtrack, in addition to its amazing horror aspect, which reminded me of the first season of The Promised Neverland. So if you're someone who hasn't watched the show yet, I've got one question for you. Why not? leaving the sequels behind to check up on an original series from A1 Pictures, which even surprised some of the most hardcore anime fans this year. I'm talking about Lycoris Recoil, which showed everyone that cute girls aren't just great at making tea. Hand them some guns, and you've got the coolest assassins in the world. This is the plot of Lycoris Recoil, is where an organization keeps peace in the city by using assassins disguised as high school girls. Our protagonist, Takina, is not really the best listener, so she's banished to a cafe until she learns the value of teamwork. There she comes across a highly acclaimed assassin named Chisato, who teaches her that you don't always have to be flashy and violent to help others. The show follows these characters as they grow up while doing all sorts of odd jobs. There's a lot of humor and action here, but I think what really makes it special is its little slice of life moments. Moving on from cute girls, we check up on another groundbreaking isekai parody, Uncle from Another World. This anime has become my favorite comedy show of this season. It starts off when Takafumi learns that his uncle, who's been in a coma for 17 years, has finally woken up. However, when he goes to meet the old man, his uncle says he spent all these years in another world, learning magic and waging wars. As you can expect, Takafumi thinks his uncle has lost his marbles. But it all changes when the guy performs magic in front of his nephew. And this is where we get hooked, just like Takafumi, who tries to learn about his uncle's adventures while trying to figure out how they can use his powers to earn some money. The uncle, on the other hand, is busy getting familiar with the new technologies and the fact that Sega lost the console wars. The humor hits hard and the animation is unique, which provides a much-needed respite from generic shows and characters we come across most of the time. At number 4 on our list, we have one of the most beautiful anime of the summer season. I'm talking about the vampire romantic drama, Call of the Night. To say that this show is deep will be quite an understatement. It is all about the loneliness and the pressure of the modern world, which can be too much sometimes. Our protagonist, Ku, knows this better than anyone because he's developed insomnia due to these social constrictions. He spends his nights walking around, and this is where he meets our vampire, Nazuna, whose carefree life attracts him. He's willing to become a vampire just to taste that freedom, but he'll have to fall in love with Nazuna to do so. And this is what drives the show forward. The chemistry between these weirdos is captivating, and the jaw-dropping world design is the cherry on the top. But what really made me a fan of this anime is Kiyosumi, who is fed up with her soul-crushing job. After getting a taste of freedom by hanging out with our duo, she too wants to become a vampire. But being an adult, she finds it hard to let go of her life. It's these heartfelt and real scenes that hook you to this anime. We go back to the sequels, and the one at number 3 on our list is the second season of Classroom of the Elite. This is another show which took its sweet time to come up with a sequel. 5 years to be exact, so it's safe to say that it had quite a lot of hype around it. And after watching more than half of the second season, I have to say it didn't disappoint. In fact, in my opinion, it's on par with, if not better, than the first season. It still has dozens of unexpected twists, and the character development is much better this time around. Now I know people who have read the light novel might hate the pacing of the new season, but for the light novel virgins, this is way more appealing, so don't listen to any naysayers and watch this anime for yourself, then you'll understand why it's so damn special. We have another sequel at number 2 on our list, but I don't think most of you will complain because it's just a phenomenal anime. I'm of course talking about the second season of Made in Abyss. I can't really say anything about Made in Abyss that hasn't been said before. 3 feature films should make it clear that it's not only a critical hit, but also has mass appeal. The second season starts right after the third film, and the horror fest begins again. Now you might be wondering, isn't this a show about kids? Well, you're right, it is a show about kids, but it's not for kids. After all, we watch these kids walk into hell on earth that's filled with all sorts of horrific creatures that just want to kill you. If you thought Shield Hero has good animation, then you'll love the beautiful art and world design of Made in Abyss, since it's made by the same studio. And while the animation engulfs you into the dark depths of the abyss, it's the music score that emotionally connects you to these characters and their fate. And luckily, the second season retains all of these great points of the series, which makes it a must-watch. Now, before we reveal the number 1 anime on our list, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our content. The number 1 anime of summer 2022 is Summertime Rendering. Now technically this anime started back in the spring, but seeing as it's still going on, I had to make a spot for it on this list. And And if I'm being honest, other than Made in Abyss, no other anime of the summer season even comes close to summertime rendering. This show is amazing. It's a mystery, so I won't be getting into the plot, but just keep in mind that it starts with our MC, Shinpei, finding out that every time he dies, he goes back in time to start over again. And if this reminds you of Re:Zero, you're not wrong. Just like Subaru, Shinpei soon discovers the horror and despair of reliving the saddest moments of your life over and over again. But unlike Re:Zero, summertime rendering takes a supernatural route, where Shinpei tries to save his loved ones by using his unexpected ability. Every frame is beautiful, and the character design is unique as well. Add to a great mystery, and you've got a modern-day classic right here. I really hope it will get the ending that it deserves. And that brings an end to today's video. Do you guys agree with this list? Share your thoughts with me in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.